Hey Vsauce, I'm Jake and there's a bear right there. No, not my pointing finger. At least I still have you shaking fist. No! Luckily, there can be only one. A retro arena-style fighting game where you battle enemies with a mystical sword, fight to the death, or push them off of the pillar in the sky to their doom below. But since each enemy has a unique attack, you have to strategize how best to defeat each kind. As the game progresses, your character upgrades in level and ability with ones like Push, Freeze, and Whirlwind. When you're near the edge, just don't fall in the hole. A multiplayer game that has you facing off against 3 opponents. You can play with friends or the computer, blowing them off ledges or into holes using different projectiles and explosives. But watch out for the planes flying overhead. Sometimes the presents they drop are unpresent. After virtually murdering your friends, go on a quest. A spell quest. If Boggle and Scrabble had a baby with an RPG, it would be Spell Quest. You play as Grim, who, once in battle, must create words with the given letters to defeat monsters. You upgrade your health and abilities throughout the game, but occasionally letters will crack or become cursed, lessening their effectiveness. However, quests can take a while, so let's speed things up by going for a ride on the Dungeon Highway. An endless runner that gives you monsters, action, and a bit of nostalgia. Clear your path with magical attacks that blow villains into a mist of red pixels, but be careful not to slam into any obstacles because that's bad. Very bad. There are a variety of items to pick up as you go, all with a cool chiptune soundtrack. For more soundtracks, there's Deemo, a rhythm game made by the team behind Citus that pairs beautiful imagery with music. Deemo, a lonely creature, finds a little girl who has fallen mysteriously out of the sky. In order to get her back home, you have to play songs on the piano correctly. There are a bunch of different tracks to play and unlock, all ranging in speed and difficulty. It really is one of the better rhythm games I've seen. Seene lets you capture and share 3D images that you take with your device. All you have to do is find a well-lit object, make sure enough green dots appear on it, then move your phone around it. Once finished, you'll have a pretty cool, seemingly 3D image toggle. To get the best image, make sure you have very few ShadowArc, a challenging color matching game where you have to use paddles to block incoming arcs. You control each paddle independently from the other, and it gets harder as the arcs start to learn new tricks and get faster. The game will test your multitasking ability, but luckily there are power-ups like shields and nukes to help when you're in a crunch. For something even more hectic, there's Savant, Ascent. Based off the musician with the same name, Savant is an awesome game where you blast your way to the top of a tower while decimating everything. Wave after wave of enemies appear, and it's your job to make their little robot bodies regret ever being made. The more you destroy, the more CD pieces you collect, which provide new music and new abilities. The game is pretty fast-paced and insane, which makes it that much better. Since the game takes you straight up, there isn't any other path. A turn-based strategy board game that is really pretty challenging. It's easy to learn at first, but it has an infinite depth of strategic options to keep you on your little toes. The goal is to occupy the majority of the board using your cells. Each cell is different and some take longer to recharge than others. Certain rounds will last minutes and others might last closer to an hour. Either way, once you win, it is immensely satisfying. But losing has you starting from the beginning. So let out that frustration with this episode's App of the Week, Fist of Awesome. In Fist of Awesome, you punch bears in the face. And deer. Well, you can also jump kick them too to give you a fist a break. In the game, you are a time-traveling lumberjack named Tim Burr that has been thrown into a world taken over and ruled by bears. The gameplay is a throwback to classics like Streets of Rage and Final Fight, but with way more bears, and the killing of bears and deer. There are boss battles, sweet combos, and if you thought there would be barely any puns, well, guess again. Links to the apps can be found in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.